Look, it's not just that business leaders need to tell stories. You get that. If someone says to you, stories are very important for business, you go, yeah, I get it. But you have to tell them in the ways people are receiving them now. You have to tell them faster, more condensed, quickly, succinctly. You have to tell them in a way that's entertaining and informative. It's not that people are watching a video of you just because they're so eager to watch a video of something. They need to be entertained and informed, even if this is business to business, especially if it's business to business. What has to happen is you have to convey what you need to quickly, succinctly, and in a way that people are going to remember it and take them with you. So why I built Story Leader is to talk about that sort of thing and all the mechanics that go into it. What makes a story good or bad? What makes it something that people are going to remember? How has storytelling changed? But not just ooh la la stories, but what is this going to do for your business? If I don't show you how to make business value from this, then this is just philosophical conversations or talking about creativity. And creativity is great, but using this to deliver some kind of business value, that's a big, big opportunity, right? So I want to tell you some examples of that today. One is, what am I talking about when I say there's three types of business stories? I tell people that there are three types: mission stories, growth stories, and belonging stories. Sometimes I make that order mission, belonging, and growth. Sometimes I make it mission, growth, belonging. Here's why. What's the mission story? A mission story is any story of any size that helps the people in the organization remember why they're all there. What's the purpose we're trying to get at, and how do we deliver it? Now, a mission story most benefits the customer if the story ties to the customer. So for instance, when I built Owner Media, one of the things I said over and over again with Rob Hatch is that what we're mostly trying to do here is share that we're helping people earn the right to sell and serve. That phrase, earn the right to sell and serve, became tucked into every single conversation and story that I had because the words were so important. Earn the right to sell and serve. I tell people that the best sales in the world, or the only sales in a lot of cases, are service, meaning that a sale serves a purpose. If we are thirsty and we have a lemonade stand, then they're serving our thirst needs by delivering the lemonade. That makes sense, right? Okay, so that's a mission story is a story that reminds us of the mission. Now they can be longer. They can be, I'll tell you a story about how my grandfather was a candy salesman and blah, 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 blah. And a mission story can be something super brief, just like an expression, earn the right to sell and serve. A growth story is any kind of story that either motivates and gets someone to grow or that corrects something. So your growth story could be that somebody's getting the work done, but they're taking way too long. So you have to show them the Navy SEAL thing. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And so you're trying to explain that you can't rush, because if you rush, you're going to make lots of mistakes. But that if you go super slow, then something's going to be a problem. So you're practicing for slow is smooth, smooth is fast. That's a growth story. And a belonging story is saying, this story tells us that you are in the right place. You are where you belong. Belonging stories are super important in modern day because of HR inclusiveness kind of needs. We want to make sure that people know that they're welcome at the picnic, so to speak. Belonging stories are great because they allow us to share things about ourselves. This is sort of a mix of belonging and growth story. But let's say we share about, that we're not always top performers. I deal with clinical depression. I use that as a belonging story and a growth story to say, I deal with clinical depression and I run a company, and so you can too, kind of a thing. These types of stories, belonging stories, are good because what they do is they make us feel or understand where we're going in togetherness. What's going to keep us all going in the same direction. And so I like to mix up a mix of these stories, and we have to use a mix of these stories to deliver quality for our business. But again, the piece I started with and the piece I'm going to end with is the packaging, the capsulation, the fact that we need to deliver stories in a way that people are going to understand them quick, get in, get out. Brevity used to be the soul of wit. It always says the sentence, brevity is the soul of wit. Now I just tell people, brevity is. Kind of a joke, but it's true. Brevity is what people are going for. Sub 10 minutes in videos for the most part, unless we're looking for long form episodic content. Sub 2 minutes a lot of time. This video is hitting 5 minutes and going to go over. That's a little long, but it's okay because we have a point to it. So what the goal is all the time in designing stories are not just, telling a story, because we know that stories are the best way for people to remember things. Stories are much better than statistics for storing our information. And so it's really important that when people kind of pick up and understand this, you realize that why we're doing this is a mission story, is that a story is the best possible container for memory. And our goal in doing what we're doing is we're going to reduce friction. We're going to improve on decision-making skills. We're going to make people realize that they're where they belong and that they should be part of this organization. And that's what I do at Story Leader. That's what I want to do for you. Hopefully that makes some sense. Hopefully you're picking it up and going, oh my gosh, I totally need this at my organization. If so, you know how to find me, chris@chrisbrogan.com, or where is that on the screen? It's over here. Storyleader.design.